now have Bernadette Wilson, Chair of the District 9620 Rotary Youth Exchange, and an experienced instructor and teacher. Welcome, Bernie.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, goodness, I'm not used to being tall. Just want to have a quick word with everyone about the Rotary Youth Exchange Program. And this is an opportunity for the students at the schools and at the Interact clubs. So the program, Youth Exchange, comes in two different formats. We have a short-term program and we have a long-term program. Our short-term program runs for 3 months, doesn't interfere with your schooling at all. It goes from November, so early to mid-November, until the end of January, so you then get to go back to school and continue on with your formal training. Long-term is a 12-month program, and it runs from January to January on any one given year. To be involved in our programs, you have to be between 15 and 18 years of age before you leave Australia. You cannot leave Australia if you're already 18. Okay, so if you can turn 18 while you're away, but not before you go. We're very limited with countries that can do that. Now, Youth Exchange is a program all about improving. We actually call it one of our peace programs simply because it builds peace. It builds that interaction you have with the districts overseas countries, their cultures and the things that they do. So we've actually, one of our sayings is Rotary Youth Exchange builds peace, one young person at a time. The object is to foster friendship, understanding by providing opportunity for you to experience life in another country. It is an educational program, so the program does not work if you don't go to school. So a lot of people have this idea that, oh, Youth Exchange, it's a gap year. You ever mention gap year in front of any one of our members of our committee, and trust me, you will not be going overseas. So it is all about you do continue school. It does not, unfortunately, it doesn't help you with your schooling back here in Australia, so you go and learn other things that you would not normally be able to achieve or learn. Now, for you guys as a student, it will help you develop lifelong leadership skills, learn a new language and culture. That is part of the process, is to learn a language. It's all about building lasting friendships with young people from other countries. And you also build friendship with students from this country. The exchange students that you will meet, both overseas and here, will last you a lifetime. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, I don't mind watching videos when I've got time. And there's a gentleman, one of the actors in one of the videos, has just recently come back from a 2-week trip back to the Czech Republic, where he went 13 years ago on Youth Exchange. And he went back and he said, I'm going back to my host mum, my host dad, and he also went back to visit his host sister for her wedding. Okay, so it's something that lasts forever. You ask any of the Rotarians that are here today that have been involved in Youth Exchange, and we all get to go on holidays overseas because we have so many family members, so many children overseas. We've gone to weddings, children's birthings, whatever it takes. We have these families forever. We have these in our family forever. So you become also a global citizen, and our students normally unlock their true potential. You don't have to be the smartest person in your school or in your family, but you do have to apply. So the maturity that you receive from the program will put you at least 3 to 5 years ahead of your counterparts. You learn to adapt, obviously. You participate in community activities while you're away. You will build family friendships and family relationships, and you'll learn to communicate with people. So the shy person that barely says boo to anyone when they come to our first camp comes back, and one of the girls she wouldn't talk to anyone before she went away. When she came back from exchange, she was the first one to put her hand up and say, hey, at district conference, can we do this? Okay, it puts people outside, makes them achieve things they never thought they could. And of course, it helps you with your own personality. You will have grandparents, more grandparents than you can poke a stick at, more brothers and sisters you could imagine, more parents, mums and dads. The countries that we are going to at the moment, is anyone interested in knowing where they could possibly go? Yes? You up the back there? Well, at the moment we're exchanging with, I've got to remember these now, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Spain, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea. So there's a lot of opportunity there, okay, whether it's short term or long term. Now, obviously when you're away on exchange, you will get an opportunity to do a little bit of travel. They have trips, usually a 3 to 4 week trip around the countries, and unlike us here in Queensland where we travel 3 hours and we're lucky if we get to another town or another city, in Europe you travel 3 hours and you've probably gone through 3 or 4 countries. So their 3 week trip, they will go through 7 countries. And for here in Queensland, we wouldn't even have left the state. So just there are some great opportunities there. What was I going to say this one? The disadvantage, I have to say there is a slight disadvantage. It depends on how you look at it. The disadvantage is that when you come back home, especially for the long term, you will not be going back into the grade that your friends are in. You will be a year behind them. It does not in any way, shape or form replace your year here in Australia. Okay? So generally we advise that the students will go out after year 10. Now, we occasionally will accept a student after year 12. However, if you are already 18, please, I'm sorry, you won't be going. Someone who turns 18 very early into their term overseas will only get accepted by Brazil and Finland. We are very, very limited to the countries that will take the students at that age. We have a lot of rules, of course. We have what we call our Ds, our don'ts. No drinking, driving, dating, drugs and disfigurement. Okay? Because you're over there as a Rotary ambassador, a Rotary exchange student, representing Rotary, your family, yourself, your Rotary club and our district. Okay, so we just need to make sure that you are aware of what the program involves. We are giving some information leaflets out to your school. Okay, we're not giving them to the students. We will take questions up the back. Okay, Rhiannon and I are both up there. And in actual fact, both Tanya and Miles from Interact are also on the committee. But just to give you some ideas, just very quickly, the short-term exchange costs around $7,000. That is for 3 months, and it covers everything from your airfares, your insurances, okay, and obviously some basic administration fees. And the long term is $11,000. Rightio? So just to give you an idea. We also have an expression, and it's something that all the exchange students learn. And I think everyone in life should remember this one. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. And the one thing you have to remember to say when you're overseas, or not say when you're overseas, is back home in Australia. Okay, you have to learn to embrace the culture that's over there. All right. The one thing I don't want to have happen, we want you all to be exchange students. We'd love to have you all, but obviously we need clubs on board as well. And that's where you guys, before you go away, become involved. However, please, after today, I don't want to receive, how many students we got in the room? 9. I do not want to receive 90 emails asking to go on exchange next year. Next year's students have already been selected. So we do have a timeline, a process. They were selected back at the end of May. What I would like to see instead is 90 emails next January asking or submitting an expression of interest. Okay? So when you go back to your schools, they will have all that information, or come and see Rihanna and I at the table and talk to us, and we'll give you an idea, because we can't do anything with you now. We're at the moment processing. We have got 2 more students to come into our district. So we've already got a Brazilian girl and a Czech Republic lass. Because our program only we started 2.5 years ago, and everything had to be rewritten, obviously. This year we've got 4 students out, so we've got 4 students coming in. And that's something for you to remember, that before you apply for this process, speak to your parents. They need to understand that if they're going to send you away for 12 months, they're not going to rent your room out, okay? They're going to take a student in for part of that time. So yes, we've got 2 more coming in, as I said, so we've got 4 students in this year. The next 2 are from Denmark and Rihanna. Where's our 4th student from? Oh, Japan. So we've got a lass coming from Japan as well. Next year we have going out 7 long-term students and 3 short-term. All right, so we're utilising most of those countries that I mentioned earlier. But please, if you have any questions, come up and see us. Love to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernie. That sounds like an excellent opportunity.